Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Intrusive Thoughts. I'm your host, Adam Rippon, and today's episode is one that I've been threatening to do for a while. I've been threatening to do it, I've been promising to do it, and I've not followed through on the promise. And that is, of course, today's episode is dedicated just and solely to the listener text messages and voicemails that we have been getting into the podcast that I've really inadvertently have avoided, and I haven't done that on purpose. Just for the past few weeks, as I've been getting onto the podcast, I just have had these, I don't know, you could call them intrusive thoughts that I've just had to kind of get out of my head, and I've needed to get into a microphone. And that microphone is the one that I'm speaking to on this podcast to you. And that is why I am very excited. It always feels good to redeem yourself from lying. And I have been lying. And like I said, it was completely unintentional. I don't see myself as a liar. I don't identify as a liar. But I have been living a lie. And that's been me going, I'm going to do text message. And I haven't done any of them. And I have them all right here in front of me so we can stick to a plan. That's my goal, right? That should be the goal of every podcast host is that you have a plan and you stick to it. And it's not really been what I've been doing. And so just to open this podcast, I'd like to open it with an apology. And the apology is this. Sorry. And that's it. I'm currently sitting at the Atami Aesthetics Club, my medical spa. I was working a little bit this morning, but now it's time for me to sit down, buckle in and buckle up and get right into it. Before we get into it, again, here I am sort of sidetracking. I'm like avoiding the responsibility that I've given myself. I mentioned last week that I am traveling to Australia. I'm doing that later today. In my mind, I thought that I would record this episode like a few days ago, right? Again, another sort of lie I told myself. I thought that I would record this a few days ago so that like on the day that I'm traveling, I wouldn't need to worry about, making sure, did I record this? Did I write down all of my text messages and voicemails? Did I do that? And I didn't. So I am here. And if you're noticing, if you're watching, my hair feels a bit flat, right? It's a bit just sort of really close to the head. Face is looking a little not washed this morning. And it's because, and I'll be honest with you, it's not washed today. I didn't wash my face this morning because my flight is at 11:30 p.m. So it's just like I'm really kind of navigating. I feel like when you have a flight, right? Like whatever time that flight is, in my mind, that's sort of like the beginning of the day, right? And so in a way, I'm beginning the day at 11:30 p.m. You could say, I'm a bit, I'm not going to say worried or nervous. I'm going to say intrigued at the lines at the airport. I've been seeing some sort of wrapped around the airport videos, which I'm not liking. I'll be honest. I'm not liking those. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. 11:30 flight. I'm leaving my house at 7 p.m., which that would in no way, shape, or form have I ever left for the airport that early. Where I live in relation to LAX is I'm about like 45 minutes to like an hour and 15 in the worst of traffic. So to leave at 7 p.m. for an 11:30 flight seems insane, but you know what? We live in insane times, and insane times call for insane measures. And so who am I not to live by measures of a man, the measures of a man? That all being said, one more thing before we get going. I have a friend. Period. I have a friend who is staying with me and my husband right now at our house. And she has sort of motivated me she really likes to take like group workout classes. All right. And for my entire life, I've never been a group workout class guy. I don't know, like I've been a private instruction guy, or I've been I'll just do it on my own, thank you very much guy. I'm obviously speaking of like when I was competing still, I had like trainers that I worked with, and the workouts that we did were like very sports specific. And a few years ago, actually before I was starting up like the medical spa, I was able to like drive down to one of the rinks that I used to train at, and I would work with my friend Tyler, who's a personal trainer who had like a gym inside one of the rinks. And haven't done that in a while. My body like shrivels up like a raisin. So in getting to the medical spa all the time to like kind of set it up, as you can see, if you're watching, there's like a different POV. This is the other side of the lobby. I did one of the last episodes facing like another side of like a poster of the logo. Today, I'm just sort of just like, I'll just show you the other side. And I got stickers on Canva of the logo. So I have the sticker of the logo of the spa on the microphone. I can't decide if I like it or I can't wait to peel it off because I hate it. So I'm still like navigating that. Anyway, back to the group classes. So when she's been here, as I'm recording this, it's Wednesday. I'm leaving tonight to go to Australia, as mentioned. On Monday, I did a SoulCycle class. And I've never done a SoulCycle class before. Actually, that is kind of keeping up with the theme. A lie. I've done one SoulCycle class before, but it was about 10 years ago. So I've never done a SoulCycle class in 10 years, which kind of deleted me from their system. So I was able to get like my first class free. That's what it was. And so when I went in, they're like, have you ever been here before? I was like really trying to keep up the charade. I wasn't trying to get my class not for free. Because listen, if I fell out of their system, that's a them thing, not a me thing. So I said, nope, never been here. And so I did a SoulCycle class. I liked it. Instructor was great. The vibes inside the room are good. If you've never been to a SoulCycle class, it's a spinning class group setting thing. I feel like I don't need to explain that to anyone, but just in case, I want to have all my bases covered. And I have to tell you, my number one takeaway from that is that like I'm trying to figure out like what part of my body I'm speaking about. For lack of a better word / medical term, gooch. I hope that kind of means something to a few people out there. My gooch feels black and blue. And so I'm not going to elaborate on that. I just want you to know that, I'm sore, but it's more in the gooch area. And I think that's a real big part of SoulCycle that they don't talk about. And in the 10 years that I had from my first class to my now sort of like born again first class, did forget about the gooch pain. But now I remember. And I think I get one more class for free. It's going to be, it'll be a minute before I go back. Not for anything other than I just need sort of gooch healing. I don't know. If you don't know where the gooch is, take a SoulCycle class. You'll find it immediately. You'll find it the next day for sure when it's black and fucking blue. Okay. Then yesterday, the group class we took. Now, I've been wanting to take a class like this for many years, and I never have. And I really liked it. And I really want to I think I'm going to do it again. And this was a boxing class. Oh, God, it felt good. It felt really good. At first, I felt like, we were doing just sort of like drills of like how to throw punches. And I don't know if I look like a guy who, I think maybe I look, no, I'm not even going to pretend. I don't look like a guy that can throw a punch. Sometimes you've got to know yourself, and I know myself well enough to, it's like, if you're like out on the street, you're not going to point at me and go, oh, he can throw a mean uppercut. Like you're not going to do that. You're not going to go down the street and you're going to go, oh God, I can't, you should see that guy's left hook. It's not how I read, but it is sort of like, I feel like someone like me should know how to fight. Just so that like when someone says, I don't think you can, I could knock them out. Right? Which isn't the point of learning how to box, but it is sort of a fun side effect. Right? Now, the reason that I've been wanting to do this for a while is that I just feel like it would be cool to be like, oh, got to go to the gym to box. Like, I am like a child of the 90s, and I know the Rocky movies are like the 80s, but there is something sort of, it feels very nostalgic to me to think like, oh, you're just going to like a ratty old boxing gym, which is kind of like exactly where we were yesterday. And it was an all levels class. And there's a few things in the class that make me feel like I know what I'm doing. Like you start with jumping rope, which I'm pretty good at jumping rope, especially like compared to like your normal everyday person where I see them like really like, like it really looks hard. And I feel like I do it like pretty easily. And it was just, that's because of that was something that I did like as cross training for like my stamina. So I did a lot of like jumping rope, double unders, triple unders, easy freaking peasy. Loved them. And so we started the class with that. And I felt like, oh, I really hope that this doesn't mislead the instructor to thinking that I'm going to know how to throw a punch, which, as soon as we put the gloves on, I think I did sort of kind of make it pretty clear to Coach Mo that, I had never done this before. And I think that was pretty clear. So thanks, Coach Mo. And I loved it. I actually would totally do it again. Wouldn't that be really cool if I was like, what do you do to like, work out and be like, I box? I feel like then I'd have to show somebody that I box, which I don't know if I'm like ready to do, but whatever. Anyway, back to the threat that I wanted to follow through with. And it's time. I feel like I've laid the groundwork of where am I, who am I, what am I? And now it's time to get into the text messages, and we're going to really try to bang them out. I'm going to try my best to stay on task, on target, because we have a flight to catch. We have to get there 18 hours early, right? We have to get there 18 hours early, which kind of leads me into our very first listener text message. And it goes, Adam, I need you to help me decide if I should block my own sister. I'm loving it already. Have you seen the airport theory trend on TikTok where people arrive like 15 minutes before boarding? Well, my sister decided to try it today at JFK in the middle of the government shutdown. Okay, before we go on, I want to say this is either the dumbest thing that I've ever heard, or I'm excited to see how it goes. Because before we continue, I'm going to say I should block my own sister. It's making me feel like it worked for your sister and it didn't work for you, or it's going to be completely the opposite. But right now I'm kind of on the sister's side before we go any further. Okay, just to like recap, the airport theory on TikTok is, on TikTok, there's like a theory about fucking everything. If you watch a TikTok video and then you go into the comments, they're like, spaghetti theory. And you're like, what are you talking about? And then you'll search like spaghetti theory because it'll be like a word that you can click. So you like click it and it's just, it doesn't lead to anything. It doesn't lead to anything. And then you'll like watch and you'll be like, you know what? Forget it. I don't give a fuck about this spaghetti theory. And then you watch another video and they're like, oh, Coke bottle theory. And you're like, what the fuck? Oh my God. Read a book and get off of the internet. Me in a mirror talking to myself through tears as I'm like, what's the spaghetti theory? Please. Okay. But the airport theory on TikTok is basically that you should try to get to the airport like 15 or 20 minutes before your flight. And essentially they'll like rush you through everything so you don't miss it, which is obnoxious, but it works sometimes. I mean, let's see. In the middle of a government shutdown feels like maybe this is definitely for a tight, like a 15 minutes before the airport. Okay, for me personally, I'm like let's get there close before the window, right? So that we just kind of like go in and go out. Like my husband, for instance, he's a let's show up a few hours before kind of guy, which I'm like, oh my God, like to get Buffalo Wild Wings at the airport. And then when we do it, I'm like, it's kind of nice to go to an Applebee's before a flight. Like it's not bad. So I get the appeal. But in practice, I don't ever do it that way, like on my own. I couldn't be caught dead doing that. Today, I'm going to be getting there about 24 hours before the flight. Okay, back to me for a second. If I'm leaving at 7, it's like good traffic time. Let's say I get there around 7:45, 8. So that's 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm 3.5 hours before the flight. And I really, to be honest, haven't seen any LAX wrapped around the building videos. That really feels more Atlanta to me, which I am going to Atlanta in 2 weeks. So really hoping that we get ice out of the airports, by the way. And we get money to TSA. Is that, yeah, I could word it better, but that's, where my heart is at. Okay. So let's start over. Adam, I need you to help me decide if I should block my own sister. You should. We don't even need to go any further. But we will. You've seen the airport theory trend on TikTok where people arrive to the airport around 15 minutes before boarding. Well, my sister decided to try it today at JFK in the middle of the government's shutdown. She showed up 20 minutes before our flight. Adam, the line was out the door and wrapped around the parking garage. I told her I was going early because I'm not a sociopath. So I was already at the gate. Well, she missed the flight. She's calling me a bad sister for not waiting in line with her or advocating. Okay. I'm so sorry. I can already tell your sister's 18 years old. Okay. She's calling me a bad sister for not waiting in line with her or advocating for her to skip to the front. Am I the asshole for leaving her behind? Okay. I just want to say that your sister is who I personally strive to be like. I think it takes a certain kind of person to go, you didn't advocate for me. And I think that's brave to say, that's brave to say, but not without my sister. Like I don't know what she thought that you could do for her. And I'm trying to think, like, what could you have done for her? I don't really know what you could have done for her. She's an idiot, by the way, and you shouldn't block her because, I said you should block her. You shouldn't, because she's in for a real hard run at life. If there's a time and a place for the airport theory, and it's like the time is not during a government shutdown. That would be the wrong time to do it, as she's finding out. And, sometimes these harder lessons in life we have to find out on our own. And sometimes we have to find out that our family won't advocate for us. And I need you to ask your sister, what does advocation look like to you? What would you have liked me to do? Right? Because it sounds like you got to the airport a few hours ahead, right? You got there early. because as you said, you're not a sociopath. So you got there early. So what would your sister have liked you to do? Stand at the gate for hours until she got there? Right? I think you need to ask her, what does advocacy work look like to her? And then, I think she can start to learn a little bit about herself, which I think that's important for her to do. It's important for her to learn about herself in this moment. And, not every theory is good in practice, as she learned. And she learned that today. All right. Next text message. Like I said, we're plowing through. So far, we've done one. And I'm asking myself, how can I get any better? And I'm telling you, we're 1 for 1. Now, number 2. Adam, I'm losing my mind over Taylor. Good night. Every time, this one, I'm going to read it, but every time I read Taylor, Frankie, Paul, I always want to say Taylor, Frankie, Grande. And I guess I also want to do Taylor. All right. So this is about Taylor, Frankie, Paul from Mormon Wives, Bachelorette. Obviously, it's getting there. And I'm only telling you that it's getting there because I can see the word Bachelorette written here because I took all the text, put it in one document. So it's just like all right here. Can't get distracted. Now back to the pod. Okay. Adam, I'm losing my mind over the Taylor, Frankie, Paul body cam footage leak. Okay. I have to start that over. Taylor, Frankie, Paul. Okay. 3 times fast. Taylor, Frankie, Paul. Taylor, Frankie, Paul. Taylor, Frankie, Paul. 3 times. Okay. I feel like now I can. I was just saying it so slowly that I was getting a lot of phlegm in my mouth. But now I think I'm good. Okay. Clear the throat. Clear mind, clear throat. Let's go. Adam, I'm losing my mind over the Taylor. God, there we go. Strike 2. All right, here we go. Adam, I'm losing my mind over the Taylor Frankie Paul body cam footage leak. Yes. Okay, did it. I've been a day one Mormon Wives fan, but seeing her on The Bachelorette after all that drama feels like a glitch in the Matrix. My intrusive thought is that ABC is actually trying to get the show canceled for a tax write-off. Am I crazy, or is this the most unethical thing we've seen on TV? Have you watched TV? By the way, have you ever watched TV? Because if you've watched TV, you'll know that this is nowhere near the most unethical thing that we've seen on television. Some of the most unethical things we've seen on television. Do you guys remember Jersey Shore? Hello, Snooki, my friend Nicole Polizzi, was punched in the face on television. Okay? Throwing a chair at your ex with your child watching, that is not being on the Jersey Shore. It's not good, right? I'm not saying it's like nothing. But I am saying it's not like getting punched in the face at the Jersey Shore by a grown man and when you're 4'2". Is it a tax write? Okay, am I crazy, or is this the most unethical thing we've seen on TV? I need you to tell me if I should keep watching or if I'm complicit in a crime. Okay, keep watching. Huh, interesting. I feel like it was canceled. What are you talking about? Bachelorette. Canceled. Did it start? They canceled it. You didn't watch any of it. What are you talking about? Hold on. Is this okay? I don't know what you're talking about. Are you talking about Mormon Wives? Canceled. Anyway, okay. I'm confused at what you wrote. I'm reading it again to make sure. Am I crazy? Okay, you know what? Here's the thing. Is it crazy that they asked her to be the Bachelorette? Yeah, I think it's insane. I think it's absolutely insane that somebody who pled guilty to domestic abuse and they're like, will you accept this, Rose? Like, that's crazy, right? I don't think we should be doing that. Um, I've not really ever, I've watched a few episodes of Mormon Wives, and I know that like to become addicted to a television show, you need to kind of make it through like a 3-episode threshold. And I've only done like 1 episode here, 1 episode there. And so I haven't pushed through into the threshold. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I'm just saying that like it hasn't happened for me yet, which is why like it really took a lot out of me to say Taylor, Frankie, Paul. As you could have seen, it was, it took a lot of energy from me. It wasn't something that I could do easily. But it does feel a bit intense that they canceled it. I feel like they didn't need to cancel this season, right? I feel like we could have watched it. Maybe they had an episode. I really don't. I feel like you're acting like you were watching it. It was scheduled to premiere and it was canceled days before. Okay. So it never came out. So I'm a little unclear on your phrasing. Keep watching or complicit in a crime is what you said. Well, the crime is that now you're the biggest liar, acting like you were watching it when it never aired. But that being said, I don't really, I wonder, I don't think they can get it. You know what? Possibly they could consider it a write-off as like, they spent all of this money on a project that never made it all the way through, right? They could see that potentially is a tax write-off. And this is coming from me, not a tax professional. Not even in the slightest. And if you ask the people that I work with on my taxes, they would go, you're actually pretty unprofessional about them. So that being said, I can't really tell you or Disney / the ABC family if this is a tax write-off. And if I did tell you anything, you just kind of can't take my word for it. You got to talk to your CPA. And I do have a feeling that there are a few CPAs who are working over at Disney. And maybe with this overtime, trying to figure out how to get those tax dollars back. If there is a company I'm not worried about paying taxes or too many taxes, it is Disney. They can pay a bunch of them, I think. And they should. And I don't know if I'm the first podcast to ever kind of say, hey, Disney, pay taxes. But if I am, I'm not afraid. Yeah, I'm just trying to kind of build upon that. But I just want you to know I'm unafraid and I'm not afraid. Let's go to the next text message. So far, I'm really sticking to a plan, which I'm proud of. Here we go. I'm going to say it. This is a text message, by the way. I'm going to say it. I'm bored of Zendaya. There, I said it. Every red carpet is a moment. Every interview is iconic, and I'm just full. I'm at capacity. Is it possible to be too perfect because I'm starting to root for a wardrobe malfunction just so I can feel something again? This is a tough one. It's a tough one because I totally get where you're coming from. Because I feel like when we think of red carpets, Zendaya really is sort of like the gold standard. She's got iconic looks. We're always looking for those So-Kates, the Louboutin high heels, So-Kates. And she always looks great. Like she really does always look great. And she really is a person who looks so incredible, completely glammed up, and equally as incredible, totally casual, toned down. And that can be frustrating to a layperson like yourself, like me, when you see somebody who's just so effortlessly beautiful and beautiful even with effort. I don't know how to kind of put that, but you know what I mean. She's just effortlessly beautiful, but also when she puts effort in, you're not like, oh, well, you really cleaned up nice. Well, it was like she was nice before she cleaned up. And so I get what you're saying. I just don't think, I think if you're holding out for a wardrobe malfunction, you're just not going to get it. Because somebody as beautiful as Zendaya, this is what will happen. Okay, let's build a scenario that I don't think will happen. But if it does, right, like I want you to be prepared for it. And that is, let's say that she's wearing this like beautiful dress, not a gown, dress. Okay, beautiful dress. And there is a difference. What is it? I don't know. But for the sake of this story, there is one. You got to believe me. Okay. So she's wearing this beautiful dress on the red carpet. And let's say that somebody walks up behind her and they step on it and it rips. It totally just like rips. And it's just like tattered. And she goes, oh no. And she bends down and then like the zipper in the back pulls. And it's just like a total mess. Okay. So I'm going to ask you to picture the dress. It's tattered, torn on the bottom. And now she has to hold it up because it's just completely like, it's not even holding onto her body anymore because the zipper in the back is gone. Okay. You might be thinking, oh yeah, that's what I'm like looking for. That's what I'm thinking. I want some drama. And now I'm going to break it to you. When you're as beautiful as Zendaya, why did I say it like that? See, it's tough to do the text messages because I'm trying to like remember what we're talking about and what I'm making up as we go. Okay. But when you're as beautiful as Zendaya, I don't know why I said that. Taylor Frankie Paul, Taylor Frankie Grande. Like, you know me, Taylor Frankie Paul. Okay. If you're as beautiful as Zendaya, is it Daya or Daya? Zendaya. Oh God. This is like when you say a word too many times and you're like, is that how it's spelled? Or is that how you say it? Okay. Let's just call her Z. So that like if Zendaya, it is Zendaya. Tom Holland and Zendaya. It's Zendaya. God. Okay. Basically what I'm going to say, when you're as beautiful as her, even with a tattered gown and you have to hold it up yourself, just imagine her trying to do that, right? Holding it, tattered. Unfortunately for you, you're going, yeah, that's the drama I want. But then what's going to happen is going to go, she's still going to look incredible. That will actually be an incredibly iconic moment, right? And she's going to look amazing. And then people are going to try to find ways to like recreate the tattered gown, right? So like you're trying to feel something again. Believe me, I understand that. This isn't going to make you feel the like, I understand if you're rooting for the wardrobe malfunction to kind of get something like out of the box. Okay. But if you're rooting for it because you're just like, it's too perfect, unfortunately, I do believe that Zendaya is somebody who will make something that's so imperfect look perfect. So you really got to think about what you're asking for, because this will either be exactly what you want or it just isn't going to satisfy your bite for life. And I'll say that. Let's go to the next text message. Oh, really, really good with these. We're doing very, very well. Scratching the nose. We're moving on. I have to do a quick. I did a quick yawn. Not because I'm tired, but because I'm feeling the adrenaline flow. Okay. Adam, help. Uh-oh. Okay. Adam, help. I was deep diving my ex's new girlfriend's Instagram from 2019 and I accidentally liked a photo of her at a pumpkin patch. Okay, I'm liking this one so far. Okay. I immediately unliked it and blocked her, but I know the notification stays on the lock screen. Should I delete my entire digital footprint and move to a farm in Pennsylvania, or do I just own it? What would you do? Okay. Listen, I feel like we're in the day and age where you can just blame everything on like, I didn't do that. That was AI. And if I were you, I would kind of go that route. The block feels like a lot, right? Like, I feel like if you liked the picture and you unliked it, the damage is done, right? The damage is done. They already know that, especially if the notification, I have all my notifications for like Instagram and all like those I have my notifications for everything except for like text messages, phone calls, emails off. Okay. I don't have anything else on my phone for any other reason. For notification wise, right? Like I have a ton of other things on my phone, like my new favorite game that I'm playing, which is like, I can't remember the name of it, but it's like Hex something or whatever. It's like these colored hexagons that you have to move next to like the same color of hexagons. So like you basically, okay, for instance, there's yellow hexagons, and then you have yellow hexagons that you just got, and you have to put them next to the yellow hexagons, and those hexagons like they like go onto the yellow hexagons, and once you get so many of the same color, they all disappear, and it's like a puzzle game, which is my new favorite game to play. So I have like that on my phone, and I had to turn the notifications off on that because it was like, shouldn't you go back to the village and play hexagons? And I was like, I don't have time. So I'm a little unfamiliar with the notifications staying on the lock screen, but I believe you if that's like the case. And here's the thing, like if you liked the photo and if your name is showing up in the notifications, it's already going to look, I feel like it looks worse when they're like, who liked this? And then they go to your profile and it's like blocked. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's like they're going to sense your panic when really, you know, also to go back to the, like, we live in a day and age where you can just blame it on AI. All of like our algorithms are like so interesting and weird where it's like a lot of people that we don't follow show up like in your Instagram feed. So I feel like you could have just blamed it on that. Like it could have been a really, I mean, I am kind of grasping for straws when it's a 2019 post. That's tough. You know, we're talking about 6.5 years ago. I am sort of leaning on the edge of pumpkin patch. We're talking October, November 2019. I don't think you need to delete your entire digital footprint. That does feel extreme, but I do feel like the blocking was maybe a step too far. You could have played this one a bit more cool, right? Because it happens, right? Who hasn't liked a photo by accident or whatever? Literally, whatever. So I'm going to say, and I'm going to be honest with you, I do feel like you took it a little bit too far with the block, because then now when they see that you liked it, if they click to find you, you don't exist. Now it becomes like a thing of like, why did they block me? Or do you know what I'm kind of saying? I'm hearing myself and I am going, who cares? I know you care, but like, that's what I mean. Who cares? You liked a picture, unlike it, whatever. So I feel like if you do this again, which you will, you absolutely will, like you're going to be scared to do it for a few weeks maybe, but you'll do it again. You'll like, you know, whip up the old Instagram, start looking at 2019 posts. And if you like it again, I think go the route of unliking it. Be like, it was an accident and just showed up, right? I think you just blame things on Mark Zuckerberg. It just showed up. I don't know how it got there. But you do know how it got there. You searched for it and you found it and you liked it, and then you blocked the ex-girlfriend. You could have played this a bit more cool. And so the next time you search for somebody's ex-girlfriend or current girlfriend, I think like if you like that picture, just you got to own that a little bit. And that's what I've got to say. Now, let's go to another text message. I am proud of myself, I'll be honest, for the bang, bang, boom, boom of this one. All right, here we go. Oh my God, I'm proud of myself. We're doing what I've actually said I was going to do. This is amazing. Amazing things happen when you believe in yourself. Okay, next text message. Taylor Frankie Paul. Okay, I'm getting it now. Taylor Frankie Paul. Oh, the Taylor Frankie Paul drama? Okay, now I'm going to get it. This is like when you work in pop culture entertainment, sometimes it is bad that I've only read the name and I've never said it before, but nobody's ever asked me about Taylor Frankie Paul, which now I can say, isn't that amazing that a few minutes ago you were like, he can't say that. And now I'm just Taylor Frankie Paul. It just like rolls off the tongue. You got to practice, everyone. Practice does make Paul. Taylor Frankie Paul. Okay. Text message back to the job task at hand. Here we go. I've been learning French on Duolingo. Oh God, I don't like the way that this is going. I want you to know, I'm not going to finish this one yet. I'm veering off for a second. I have an almost 700-day streak of the Finnish language on Duolingo. I hate to admit this, but I'm going to. There's a way to kind of hack the system, and I've done it, so you don't lose your streak. I haven't done a Finnish lesson. And I'm going to speak, this is directly to the people who do Duolingo. I'm not going to explain it to you. Well, basically, there's lessons you got to do, and it's like a few different tests, like you make it through. Okay, whatever. I'm moving on. Then there's like little games, side games you can play based on what you've learned. Okay. This is how you hack the system. If you're like, I don't have time to do a lesson, which probably for the past 500 days, I've been saying, I don't have time to do a lesson. So what you do is you go into exercises and you do exercises and you do words. Okay. And it's like matching words. So it's like the word in English, the word in Finnish, and you have to match them to like what they are. And what I do is, and you have to do 3 rounds. The first round is like you have to match the word to the right word in the opposite language. The next one is you have to listen to the word and then match it to the correct one. Now, what you can do is I do the flashcards, and then when you have to listen to it, there's a little button at the bottom where it says, I can't listen right now. I always push it. It doesn't matter if I'm like in a quiet, private room. I can't listen right now. And then it goes right back to the third round, which is just the flashcards again. I can make it through a day of Duolingo in 50 seconds flat. And that's what I've been doing for about 500 days. So it's keeping my mind. No, it's not. I was going to say it's keeping me sharp, but I'm at least not forgetting what I've learned, which is not a lot. Okay. Enough about me, more to you. I've been learning French on Duolingo for 3 years just to impress a guy who lives in Paris. I've been there, done that. Okay. He finally invited me to visit, and I realized I only know how to say the apple is red and the boy eats bread. Do I go and pretend I've developed sudden localized amnesia, or do I stay in New York and keep the streak alive for the sake of the owl? Well, here's the thing. If you've been trying to impress this boy, right? Like, let's say you're trying to impress this boy, as you've kind of mentioned. I'll be honest with you. He probably knows already that you don't speak French, because I don't think that you've been speaking French to him in whatever way you've been communicating with him, right? So this will come to him as no shock that the only thing you know how to say is the apple is red, the boy eats bread. If anything, I hope it rhymes in French. You know, if anything, you can do a little rhyme for him. But if you've made it this far in your relationship, I think the thing is he doesn't want to meet you for your French. Okay? I think that you should do this Paris trip, because I think that the French language will be the least of your worries when you get over there. That's what I'm thinking. I think if anything you have to worry about is that fucking owl. Because he's, or she's, or they are relentless. Okay? I have notifications on for Duolingo. I do have those on. And that fucking bird is on my ass all the time. All the time. That is a relentless fucking bird. So yeah, I think that you should not stay in New York. If this is somebody that you've been trying to it sounds like you've been trying to impress for 3 years. I don't know, like the logistics of like, have you met before or whatever? Here's the thing. Just say that you're just going to Paris. You'd like to meet up. You should go, by the way. And as we've learned, you should get to the airport a few hours earlier. The airport theory is not working right now in the shutdown. Just ask that one caller's sister. But if you do get there 20 minutes before, have somebody there who will advocate for you. You really should. You should have someone that's going to advocate for you. Okay. Now, let's do, I have 2 more written here. Do you think we can get through everything I've written down? We have others too. We have more, but I was like, let's just like really Taylor, Frankie, Paul. Okay. I really have, I'm feeling good about Taylor, Frankie, Paul. And you know what? Let's go back to that. I think they should put the season on. Whatever. Okay. Hi, Adam. She pled guilty to that, by the way. Didn't she? She did. Hold on. Let's search for that before I like spread misinformation. Okay. Taylor, Frankie Grande. I told you. Taylor, Frankie, Paul pleads guilty. Let's just see. She pled guilty to a 3rd-degree felony count of aggravated assault in 2023. So that's not shocking. Okay. I love that, like, they were like, pled guilty. She'd be the perfect bachelorette. Pled guilty. Oh my God. Get her that bouquet of roses. I would never, ever be like, I really hope like I win her heart, when it's like, well, she beat her boyfriend up. Like, okay. All right. Anyway. And she pled guilty. This isn't like new news. They knew that, which is why she should have never been the bachelorette. Okay. That's that on that. That's my segment on should they have or shouldn't they have. All right, moving on. Okay, Adam, my intrusive thought is that you may be thinking about Britney Spears' present day. I actually have been. Okay, here we go. If you are still a fan of hers, I'd like to know your thoughts. I will always be a fan of Britney Spears. Britney Spears is the Blackout. I know I'm a little bit, I was like 17, but the Blackout Britney Spears album is like the first album that album and Love Angel Music Baby by now born again Christian Gwen Stefani. Let's talk about that another time. Pin in that. Love Angel Music Baby is one of my favorite albums of all time. It's, to me, like, it's a perfect album. And it's the first CD I remember playing like from front to back, and I can still do it. Like, I love every song. And Blackout by Britney Spears was like the second album I remember just like, I loved the whole thing from the first song to the last song. It's just like, it's such a good album. And I love Britney Spears. Okay, my intrusive thought is that you may be thinking about Britney Spears' present day. As I said, true. If you are still a fan of hers, I'd like to know your thoughts. I remember at your Olympic skate, you thought of her. That's true. She was on top of the world. Now she's a survivor of horrific abuse. Her recent DUI incident, the Instagram posts since the closure of her conservatorship, many think are odd. I'm understanding and think all her posts, I'm understanding and think the posts are her real self, and she can do what she wants now. I have immense compassion for her. She's navigating her way to healing in a general sense. What are your thoughts? Any thoughts you have on the amazing Britney Spears? Now, this is what I want to say. I really feel like when you think, oh God, I love Britney Spears, by the way. And I feel exactly the same way, where it's just like, you know what, like, let her do what she wants to fucking do. The DUI is like, that really sucks. That really sucks, because like, I feel like even with like the Instagram stuff, you're like, Britney, don't dance with knives. You know, like sometimes you're just like, don't use the knives in the videos. But the thing is just like, it's tough. When I think of Britney Spears, I also think of Amanda Bynes. Of like when you watch them like back in the day, they just were just so full of life, and you can absolutely tell some really dark, fucked up shit happened to them. Like you can just, that, right? Like the body keeps the fucking score. And that when I think of her, I just think of somebody who's been like through so much physical and emotional trauma, and that's what we're obviously seeing. And so like when I think of Britney Spears, I just want her to be happy. Do I want another album? Yeah, I do. So I just want to be happy too. But I really just want her to be happy and at peace. And I just hope that like, here's the thing. Sometimes I've seen like some I read somewhere that like the Kardashians reached out to Britney after her DUI, and I've seen them together with her. And I actually like, whatever you think about the Kardashians is whatever, but I don't think that they're bad people. And I actually feel like they want to see her succeed. And I just hope, this is what I hope about Britney. I hope that she like finds good people around her. And I saw this like one video of this like one Southern woman where she was like, this is what Britney needs. She needs to like go to like a girlfriend's house, and she needs to make like a big old thing of macaroni and cheese, and she needs to wash her hair for her and brush it out and give her a pair of sweatpants and a big t-shirt, and they need to just like watch movies. And I'm like, that's kind of what she needs. She just needs she needs macaroni and cheese. Like she just needs peace. That's all I want for Britney Spears. I want her to have peace. Okay. And that's what I think. I think about her all the time, and it makes me kind of sad. It makes me sad, but like, I just want her to be happy. Okay. Like I don't really have anything else to say. Anyway, let's move on. This is the last final. I feel like this is going to be the best way to end. Ooh, I'm excited. We should be proud of this, everyone. Look at us. Adam, please help. There's a lot of people asking for help. Okay. Recommendations needed for moisturizer. Okay. Recommendations needed for moisturizer / sunscreen for sensitive skin that doesn't reek of sunscreen smell. I want to be able to wear a moisturizer with sunscreen, but can't stand the smell of sunscreen all day. Okay. All right. I can handle this one for sure. I actually also don't like the smell of sunscreen. And I like to consider myself like a sunscreen connoisseur. So, when I think of like the best sunscreens that you can, so actually right now here at the medical spa, we're trying to find like a product that a brand of products that we'll carry here, because we're going to need some for when people need to wash their face before like a treatment, and we don't want people to leave here not wearing sunscreen. So we need a brand of some sort of product to carry. And obviously it's a medical spa. So there's a lot of like medical grade skincare, whatever. And I'm on the fence of how I feel about medical grade skincare. Okay. Not because I don't think it's good, but because I just feel a little bit like a scam. Okay. Because here's the thing. It's over the counter stuff, right? So if you can buy it over the counter, it's the same thing you're getting at a CVS. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I think some products might work better than others. Okay, whatever. Now, when it comes to sunscreen, so we've been getting a lot of samples in. Okay. Now, here's the deal, and I don't like this. This is the thing, that in the United States, sunscreen needs to be cleared. Their formulation needs to be cleared by the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, and it's considered a drug, right? A sunscreen. In other parts of the world, a sunscreen is considered a cosmetic, so it's much easier to use updated filters and different types of formulations to make an effective sunscreen with the appropriate filters. In the United States, we're using filters that haven't been updated in a very long time. And sometimes these formulations can feel very thick, and sometimes it can have like a real distinct smell. Some are definitely better than others. If I'm thinking of one that I like that's like American brand, Elta MD is okay. I know that that's one that they use at a lot of like plastic surgeons' office is, right? So if you go to a plastic surgeon's office, they might have like behind the desk like their skincare that they carry, and Elta MD might be a sunscreen that they carry in their office. It's a nice sunscreen. I always felt like it felt thick to me. It just felt like a really thick sunscreen. I used it for a really long time. If you're white, they have a tinted sunscreen. I even think that if you have like a darker toned skin, they might have like one for white people, one for black people, right? Like, and when I say one for one, that's exactly what I mean. There's one shade for white people, and I think they might have like a darker tone for like a blacker skin tone. So I don't really believe in the tint. I think it looks a little like, it doesn't look right. I don't think. Okay. So there's Elta MD, a sunscreen that I like that's sort of drugstore that you can kind of get anywhere is La Roche-Posay has this one where it's like in this thing and you have to like shake it, and it sounds like a spray paint bottle. But I know some people are like, why does it sound like chemicals? Well, it's okay. First of all, everything is chemicals, right? I don't like chemicals. If that's the kind of person you are in for like a real doozy when I tell you everything is chemicals. You're chemicals, right? So you need to decide when, like, if like, this is what I mean. If you go down into your like biology, you go, no, I'm natural. Okay. Well, then if you like go under a microscope and then you see that and you like zoom, like those are chemical compounds that are making up your atoms that will make up you, right? So you're chemicals. So at what point do you believe that you're not chemicals and everything else is chemicals? Okay. That's just what I have to say on that. Everything is chemicals, by the way. Okay. So, the way that La Roche-Posay sunscreen works is that you have to shake it. There's a component in there that does make it sound like a spray paint, but it's to like make sure everything is like blending and not separating. That's a really light sunscreen that I actually I do like. Now, this is what I'm going to turn you on to something. You're going to have to buy sunscreen from Asia. All right. These are my favorite sunscreens. My favorite. Oh God, what is the name? Okay, I remember. I'm remembering now. I closed my eyes for 1 second and like That's So Raven vision was like, whoa. These are my favorite sunscreens, and they're from Asia. I order these in bulk from Asia. Okay. Now for the body, because I live in Southern California and, we have dogs, we walk them. Even when you're driving in the car, you need to be wearing sunscreen. Even when you're in the house, you need to be wearing sunscreen. The UV rays are coming through your windows. It's going to age your skin. Okay. If you think I'm being, you're crazy. Okay. But I have nice skin. Okay. So I'd rather be crazy with nice skin. You need to protect yourself from the UV rays. They are still coming in from your window. So if you're inside, that's great. But if you're near windows, if you're driving in the car, you're going to get like sun damage. You're going to get like a sunburn on your arm, right? And you're not going to get one on the other arm that's not in the window. You just need to wear sunscreen on the body, on any part that's not covered by clothing. Not in a crazy way, but in a way where it's like, put your sunscreen on. So I have a sunscreen that I use for the body, and I have one that I use for the face. In theory, I could use it, anywhere, right? But I have one that I use on my face that's a little bit like thicker, a little bit more like a moisturizer. And so the one I use on my face is from this company called Beauty of Joseon. Okay. Now you can find this like on Amazon, but they have American formulations of this product now. So the formulations that they have of this Korean brand, Beauty of Joseon, they're using now the American sunscreen filters in it. So it's a little bit thicker, but I still think that formulation, even like the American version of it, is still fine. But I order it from Asia. So it has the Asian sunscreen filters in it. And it's just, it feels just like I'm putting moisturizer on. Like you'll never ever go back. You'll never ever go back to like a thick sunscreen from the United States. You will never go back when you start using Asian sunscreens. And the sunscreen I use on my body is Nivea water cream. Okay. It's called Nivea water cream. It's Nivea, like the Nivea that we have here, but it's a Japanese sunscreen. And those are my two absolute favorite sunscreens. You need to order them from Asia. I think the name of the website that I ordered them from, hold on, I will check. Hold on. Stylevana, is that? Yes. Okay. The name of the website is Stylevana. Okay. And this is all sunscreens and cosmetics from Asia. All right. I suggest if you're going to do this, like you don't need to get the brands that I'm suggesting. Those are the ones that I like. All of these sunscreens are just going to be so much lighter and scentless. You're going to like them so much more. And so I think that you should just take the risk, go to Stylevana. It's going to take a few weeks, if not like a month or two, for all of this to like arrive. Okay. But what happens is like you buy it from Asia and then it's like sent over to you. So it can take a few weeks, if not like a month or two. So when I buy it like in bulk. And I have a drawer in my house where you open it up and it's like 55 bottles of Nivea water cream. But I want to live in a protected from the UV rays sort of life. And that's just me. So if I were you, stylevana.com and start looking for sunscreens. I told you my favorite ones, but I like them also. I feel like the next time I have to make an order, which is pretty soon, I'm going to order a few different ones and I'm going to be trying them out. But those Asian formulations are so much lighter. They're so much lighter and they're incredibly effective. Now, here's the other thing with sunscreen. If you're in the sun, right? If you're in the sun or being exposed to UV rays, you need to reapply during the day because you need to think of like those filters, they can absorb a certain amount of UV, right? They can absorb a certain amount of UV before they become ineffective, which is why you need to reapply. Okay. So you need to have a little sunscreen with you to go like, put a little bit more. And you need to be slathering and lathering that shit on. Okay. Don't be conservative with the sunscreen. You'll thank me later. Okay. You'll absolutely thank me later. But here's the thing. I'm going to thank you now because I want to thank you for writing all of these text messages. And some of these were voicemails that I wrote into text form so that I could stay on track. I needed to do that for you. I needed to do that for me, for us. And so I just want to say thank you so much. I'm so proud of being able to follow through with this today. And I'm so grateful for all of the people who have called and wrote in. Please continue to do so. And please wish me luck on my flight. When you listen to this, I should be in the air, right? I'll be flying high. And I'm excited to go to Australia. Maybe I'll even record an episode while I'm there. Wouldn't that be fun? I think that would be thrilling. It can be all about my airport experience. Oh, that sounds so exciting to listen to that for an hour. Anyway, I'm going to go. Love you dearly. Love you much. And I'm so grateful that for everybody who listens to this podcast, and so glad that we could do a sit down text message only. This is something we've been threatening to do for months, maybe even a year, maybe even since the beginning of this podcast. I've been threatening to do this from the very beginning of like, let's do an episode of just text messages. And actually, there's one more text message that I'll mention that I can see right now as I'm like going through them. I see one more where it says you should do like 2 different kinds of episodes, where it's like ones where you're just talking, shooting the shit, and ones that are just text messages. Brilliant idea. Doing it now. Really doing it now. But again, I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody who listens, who calls, who writes in. And if you'd like to call or text the podcast hotline, you absolutely can. And I encourage you to do so, because the number for this podcast is 310-909-7117. Again, that's 310-909-7117. If you have any intrusive thoughts that you'd like to share with me and our listeners, please, I encourage you. Are you learning French on Duolingo? Are you blocking your sister? You know, are you sick of Zendaya or Zendaya? We need to kind of, we need to clarify that. And should I keep watching, or am I complicit in a crime? You haven't been watching. I'm reading that text again. Or if it's just about sunscreen, right? Don't hesitate. Don't hesitate to call or text the podcast. And that's it. It's been a great one. Love you dearly. My name is Adam Rippon, and these have been your intrusive thoughts. Bye, everybody.